Today I'm going to show you how to make a bird out of a clay slab. A slab is a flat piece of clay. First thing I want you to do is use your finger to draw a shape for your bird's head and body. Notice how I'm drawing lightly in my clay, just pressing the surface just enough so I can see that outline. But I'm not digging into the clay. I don't want to dig in deep and make it thin. This way, if I don't like the shape of it, I can erase it very easily. Just rub my finger over lightly and erase it, and it goes away. You can do it again and make it as big as you can on your piece of clay, because it's going to get smaller after it dries. Once you have this shape for your bird's head and body, just the way you want it, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to come and check to make sure it's just the right size, and then you can use this fancy tool to cut out your clay bird. I'm going to press it all the way down until I can't go any further, and then slowly slide. I'm going a little bit faster because I've done this before. I want you to go slow and control it very, very carefully. Slowly cut out your bird. I'm going to put it right down here where I left off. It's easier for me to pull it towards me than try to push it away. So I'm going to start at the top and come down towards me. Now I can lift up all this extra clay, and I am going to use that in just a little bit, so I'm going to put it right there where I can reach it. I'm going to slide this down. There we go. I'm going to use my finger and gently go around the edge to smooth out the edge. Don't want it to be sharp after it's dry. So all around, make sure it's nice and smooth, that you don't have any little pieces hanging off, but don't press it down. You don't want to make it too thin. Now, I've got my head and body shape. I need a wing shape. I like the curve right here. I'm going to use that. I'm going to just cut a shape for my wing. I like the way that looks, but I think it might be too big. I'm going to trim it just a little bit and put it back. Done? Oh yeah, I like that. Once you cut the clay, you can't really put it back together. So if I were to cut it, I can't smush it back together and smooth it and make it one piece again, because it will just come apart again. So you might want to draw the shape and get it just the way you want it before you cut it. Okay. I still like this one better. Okay, so I want to put that right there. I'm going to stick it down. Now it sticks now because it's wet, but once the clay dries, that will just peel right off. So you have to use the 4 S's to attach your clay. Score, use your fork, and scratch lightly. You want to scratch the bird's body and the back of the wing. You scratch both pieces, going in one direction and then the other direction. Don't go too deep, just the surface. You're creating some teeth in your clay that are going to bite together. Now this wet stuff is called slip. It's like clay glue. It's going to glue my pieces together. I'm going to put just a little bit in there so it kind of gets into those grooves. Then I put my 2 pieces together. I stick. So I started by scoring. So score, slip, stick. And the last step is to smooth. Go around with your finger. Just kind of smooth that connection out. Try to erase the line between the 2 pieces of clay. So right there, I smooth it out and I erase that line, then I know it's really stuck on there. I can press it just a little bit more. Make sure I don't have any air trapped between my pieces, and then it will stay. I can smooth it a little bit more. Get nice and neat. Get rid of the extra slip. There we go. I'm gonna wipe that right there. Get it off my finger. Next step, I wanna make an eye. I'm gonna break off, pinch off just a little bit of clay and use my fingers to squish it together really tight and then roll. Roll it, roll it, roll it to a nice ball. A nice big eye, but it's so round. I'm gonna flatten it by tapping it on the surface of my table. Now it's nice and flat and it will stick really well there. Oh, it's just gonna fall right off when it dries if I don't score it. So I'm gonna score and score the eyeball. Score, slip, stick, and smooth all the way around. Now my eyeball got a little bit smushed when I was doing that, so I can just use my fingers and I can reshape it. Get it to look the way I want it to look again. I can use my end of a paintbrush or the end of a pencil, the point of a pencil, and I can just press in, press straight down and lift up to add a nice detail to my eye. Now it's time to make my bird's beak. I'm gonna pinch off a little bit of clay, smush it up again, really smush it, smush, smush, smush. Roll it really tight, roll, roll, roll. Get a nice ball, and then I can pinch it some more and shape it to make my beak pointy. Flatten it between my fingers, pinch it and shape it. Let's see how that looks. Ah, I like that beak. Okay, notice how I've overlapped the clay. I'm not sticking it on the end. If I stick it on the end, it's very hard to attach and it could break off. So I'm gonna overlap. That means I'm gonna put it on top of the head. Just a little bit. I wanna make sure some of it is sticking off the edge so it looks like a beak. I'm gonna score, score, score the beak and the bird. Slip, slip, stick, and smooth. Notice how I'm holding it as I'm smoothing it so I don't lose the shape of it and it doesn't slide and move where I don't want it to go. I really press it down to stick it down. Okay, now I have a clay bird. I can use the side of my fork and press to get a little bit of texture on my bird's wing. There we go. My clay bird is done.